how will this techniques of brain science help in regaining what was there? Probably it may not be 100% regained what was there before the pandemic, but how can we reset it, or how can we actually come back to the same situation again? Focusing on yourself, getting proper sleep, getting proper exercise, focusing on your own body.
It is a skill, I can say. The brain science is a skill. And any skill, if you use it over a longer period of time, it will get sharper and sharper, and which can be useful in the further years.
When children are carefree, children don't really need to bother too much about things. Rajasic is where they become passionate. So as they grow up, they become passionate. As finally when they grow old, they become sad.
So by experiences and by the surroundings, these stages and their nature is getting changed over there. Memorization is the key for all the success right now. Brain science is not something I will teach you. It's all related what is there in your mind. Every student wants to only earn, they want to score the marks. And they are just behind it. No one wants, because they are not getting time to adapt and learn deeply. We have to make sure that when we synchronize both brains, then this brain science will be the utmost superpower which you can give your kids. Brain science plant inside you, it will grow like anything, and it will give you fruitful result in coming years in a free, fun way, stress-free way. And again, the success you are going to get for sure.
Hello everyone, and welcome to yet another exciting episode of Dr. AB's Podium, Learnings and Insights through Podcasts. Now, this episode is a continuation to the previous two episodes which have been launched on my channel, where we discussed about child psychology and the issues that children face, in the years that they're growing in. Subsequently followed by another episode where we discussed about the challenges that young professionals or people who are maybe, beyond the age of 20-25 that they face in their careers. Now, this third episode is also very special. This is going to be related slightly to a more academic perspective about wiring your brain or training your brain into memorizing things. Because a lot of people, हमें problem ये होती है कि short term memory loss के हम शिकार हो चुके हैं. And ये short term memory loss, आप सबने term सुना होगा in the film Gajni. So jokingly, a lot of people, when we forget things, तो Gajni ये word हमारे सामने आ जाता है. But jokes apart, on a very serious note, how do we really wire our brains, or how do we really train our brains and make the most, use of memory? Because memory is something that will help us not just in remembering concepts academically, but also as we grow in our careers. Something that we may have learned in the past can be used as a decision-making tool even today. Something that I may have learned maybe 15 years ago or 20 years ago, or any kind of experience or incident that may have happened in my life 15 or 20 years ago, could be kind of a reference point for a critical decision-making aspect today as we are working in our jobs. And to discuss on this, I have Ms.Vruushali Mirajgaonkar with me. She's an accomplished education and edtech consultant with over 15 years of experience in educational quality management, teacher training, and digital content development. She's the founder of Brain Voyages. Brain Voyages basically conducts a lot of brain training or training young students right from the age of the age of 3 onwards to young professionals as well. They have concepts of developing brain labs in various schools where they try to accommodate these techniques with regular academics, so that not just the academic performances are improved, but at the same time, the grasping power or the understanding power of kids is developed from a very young age. Also, this company is into training students into career management, career counseling, and various other aspects. Thank you, man. Thank you for joining us on today's discussion.
Thanks for inviting me for such kind of good podcast.
Yes.
And I'm looking forward to discuss whatever is best out of my knowledge.
Yes.
We'll do surely.
Sure. Just first of all, I would like to understand your journey. Your journey शुरू कैसे हुआ into the area of brain science? Because like before the shoot began, I was telling you that normal people are not aware about the term called neurosciences. Though today neuro-linguistic programming has become a very popular term, so to say. But neuroscience is not something that is known to a lot of people. So how did you think of coming into the area of brain training or this topic?
Absolutely. My journey into brain science unexpectedly began during the pandemic 19. So I was busy designing the curriculums for the bridge courses for the students in the schools. And while doing that, certainly I find something odd. Due to pandemic, I think there are like certain kind of focus related issues, struggling concentration. Due to the media exposure, a lot of, we can say, screen time has increased. And with that, the capacity and memorization is everything got on a stake. And then I started dug up the teachers training kind of model where I can provide some brain science techniques which will enhance memory of the students. And I started researching on this, and I got read not many techniques on that, and I started trying on the students, nearby students in my society.
Yeah.
And one of the vocabulary techniques I implemented on them, then I got to know that the vocabulary which was got vanished within the fraction of second after 40 minutes. This when I taught them some techniques to remember the vocabulary and its meaning, the students who are quiet in the classroom, they started going up their own stories by understanding the meaning of that vocabulary word. And that encourages me to do something on a certification on a brain science certification. And now I'm here, my brain voyages company kick off from that perspective. And now I'm a renowned brain science expert and trainer. And we do help schools and students in this by developing or installing the brain science lab into their schools, and many more schools to go for that.
Okay.
This is how we started as a brain voice.
Okay. So I use the word neurolinguistic programming. So what is exactly the difference between brain science and neurolinguistic programming?
See, there is a basic difference is like neuro-linguistic programs are like more on a concept-based kind of thing. And we're on like more into the language part or where that wiring is there. But here in brain science, what we do is we create visual memory with the pre-existing incidences or pre-existing environment whichever is available around the students. And that is the connecting dot for the academic recollection memory. And these techniques can be used to make their visual memory stronger. So what we do, we shift from their memory from temporary to permanent memory, which can be last for lifelong. So this is the difference between the brain science and the neurolinguistics. Yeah.
So before the shoot began, I told you that my son is now 9 years old. He's currently facing examinations. And what I was telling you is I exactly see, I can see 30 years ago. The same flashback, something that used to happen 30 years ago. Now it is just my son sitting there in my place and my wife is sitting in my mother's place. My question here is, when we talk about, say, suppose mathematics. Mathematics is a subject that almost everybody is scared of. Even I was, I am even today scared of that subject. So when it comes to remembering, say, theorems, or when it comes to remembering any formula, how does brain science, maybe if you can give an example through some kind of a technique, or by creating a visual memory, like you said, how does this really help? How can we remember a particular formula? Or how do we really use brain sciences to connect?
Yeah. So what you said correctly, rightly, that there is like in a school, the traditional way of learning stay with. So what traditional learning is doing, it's just teaching how to write, how to read, how to understand. For understanding what, as a parent, we send our kids to the different classes. We send to them for the Vedic mathematics, or right now you can say that which one is like some of the memory aid, calculation aid tools which we use that, and buckets and all these things. But these are the things that they are just calculation purposes. The fourth dimension still missing link over here. The fourth dimension of learning is like memorization. So memorization, what we do is we have number mnemonics. One called method is there, number mnemonics. Harmony method is there. We can tell them like we have some link methods. These methods can be used even for teaching the mathematical formulas and long term. Why? Because we create some ridiculous thinking over there. See, whatever the scientists, they are in a ridiculous thinking. That's why they are able to invent something different. So if the child is telling you something ridiculous, you should be always happy, because something is differently going on in that mind, and we can use that ridiculous thinking to memorize this formula what you have told us. So this formula can be converted into the ridiculous thinking. What is the ridiculous thinking? Something is ABC kind of method is there. Something is actionable. Something is bigger. Something is colorful. So the combination of all of this creates a good memory, pictorial memory, which is 20 times higher than our normal memory. So visual memory, there itself we use such kind of techniques to enhance their memory capacity and remember all the formulas and everything. So it is a skill, I can say. The brain science is a skill. And in a skill, if you use it over a longer period of time, it will get sharper and sharper, and which can be useful in the further years, where the you can say statistical and data learning and now these AI fields are emerging. There also you can use these brain science techniques. It's a skill. And that skill needs to be developed, I think, in every student and in every school. If we want to shift from traditional learning to the memorization of concept, because these techniques are like useful now and then, the students are bombarded with all the competitive exams, then some of the exams for the path career, deciding exams. Everything is early level, whatever early ages, whatever you have learned, that is on a state on that 33 hours or 4 hours of exams we can say. So memorization is the key for all the success right now. So
I think history is one such subject, which has always been reduced to remembering and memorizing dates.
yes.
But I'm sure, by using brain science as a technique, if we really associate those dates with the pictorial memory of what may have happened then.
Yeah.
So I think children of today's generation will not just start remembering it, but also I think they will start loving history.
Yeah, because we have something called rainbow memory system, memory technique, which is Vidya. Why Vidya is a mnemonic science rule, where all the 7 colors are getting together with their initials. So we have something called Vidya memory technique, which is useful for the history series, whatever in a series, whatever the dates, series, sequence, if you want to learn the long answers, short answers, if you want to go with the time zones. So these mind timers, we have techniques called mind timers, where you can use these techniques and definitely they will love to remember, because everything is getting visualized.
Correct.
So it's all about imagination, association, and visualization.
Correct. And I think when they start visualizing, it doesn't remain a very dry subject.
Yes.
Even if it is history, maybe the Indian history, or any international history, global history, whatever it is, it will become very interesting for them to know it, to see it. Very interestingly, I've seen kids love to read the same history in pictorial books,
Yes.
or in a comic format or whatever.
Yes.
Now, this brain sciences technique doesn't really have a minimum age, say, of 3 years, or can this be applied even beyond the age of, say, 25 or 30 or 40?
Yeah, because see, ultimately memory is something that we want to retain till our last minute, isn't it?
Yes.
So these techniques, even though these techniques are more, क्या बोलते हैं ना, हम बोलते हैं कि जब मिट्टी का घड़ा जब बहुत नरम होता है, तब you can shape it
The way you want.
where you want.
Yes.
Same thing applies. अगर आप बचपन से ले रहे हो, but it will be more useful for future years. Of course, definitely after 40s, if you feel like my memory is not working as per the previously it used to, because of certain things that nowadays we have so much stress. We have something called more prone to diabetes and BP and the medications and stress level and concentration, late night, screen time has increased. All these things are like around us. So these techniques, surely some of the techniques, if you want to remember the appointments, if you want to remember some of the data in your working culture. So some of the time miners and some of the rainbow or number mnemonics, these advanced techniques are there where you can rewire your brain. You can train your brain in such a way. It will take time, but once you train, and if you used to that, then it will be like, if nothing is like that, you can fraction of seconds you can remember everything. So there are techniques which can be everyone. It is a family pack, I can say. Brain science, though we are implementing in schools, but we want everyone should use it with their kids so that the stress will go away from the student to parent to working professional to even old age people as well. So these techniques are useful for all.
So can I say that when we teach somebody you to use brain science techniques, are we also somewhere going into their subconscious mind and try to activate that? Because as a layman, when I use the word conscious and subconscious mind, all I understand is we are only using our conscious mind. Subconscious is the driver in our car.
Yes.
So can we say that by teaching somebody to use brain science techniques, are we really teaching him or her to use their subconscious mind to maybe regenerate those memories and to make it more effective?
Yeah. So what is happening? There is a principle. There is a memory science principles up here. Mr. Science AIS is the principle of the Mr. Science M means mnemonic science. Check a visual memory. Or then the R is retention. How you can retain it. Then there is a called sleep component over there. So this subconscious thing is working over there. So what we suggest, even students, parents, working professionals, you should sleep at least 6 to 8 hours. Why you need sleep? It's like when you sleep, it's just not a rest. Your mind is not on a rest. Your brain is not on the rest. It is rewiring whatever you have collected throughout the day. It is organizing everything. And it connects the things which was happened earlier and happened today. It connects those points. But if you don't sleep, then this rewiring, which happens during the sleep will not happen. So in that case, many of times if you started watching late night movies and you started going on movie nights or outing for the night, if you're not taking proper sleep, your memory is going to affect because nothing is going to reset on that mode. It's a reset mode where, and this subconscious mind doing same thing. So whatever the recollection happened in previous today, that recollected in organized manner, and next day morning when you wake up, it's a totally reset module of your brain. And when you, even in a scientific way, we suggest students, once you got up, don't take mobile in your hands. Take something that you want to read. Because it's everything settled and your brain is now ready to take something new. So what you should take, which you want to retain it for a longer time. If you go on, and nowadays you must be knowing, kids are waking up and they're just scrolling and they are just looking at their WhatsApp messages, which is again going to hamper their all rework. So something you should read in a textual form. Why? Because it is going to be there in your mind. And everything is settled, then it is going to accommodate in there. So sleep is like one of the most important components. We can say is the for the memory. And this subconscious mind and conscious mind plays a role there.
Right. You were telling me about visualizing numbers. So can you just give a small example as to how somebody can remember numbers, visualize them?
So for example, if I tell you visualizing of numbers 1 to 10, if we are taking something that we need, okay? So something 1, which is the one thing you can remember as per your knowledge. See, brain science is not something I will teach you. It's all related what is there in your mind. For example, food. If I'm talking about food, what will come in your mind? Time.
Immediately it could be
Any food item?
any food item. It could be samosa, it could be anything, yeah.
And for me, it's a puran puri.
Okay.
Okay? So food, this is whatever your experiences, your likings tells about. And whatever my liking, my experience, I am relating that. Same thing is, for one, what I can do is, I can remember for one, I can tell sun. Sun is the only planet, star we can see. So I can make myself like, when I want to remember one, I will make one as a sun. Two, what else I can do? Two is like I can remember two eyes, 2 ears. Three, so I can remember Gandhiji ki teen batar. Yeah. Four, I can take 4 directions. 5, I can denote for hand. 6, for the sixer of Sachin sixer. 7, week, entire week I can, in my mind I can make it. 8 is something like I can including the other directions, or 8 something is like I can eat, or I can resemblance with that. 9, so 9 is like fine, or you can dine. So anything related to that. See, you have to make it in a such a way that whatever you feel like it, what is the best for me to remember numbers. Correct? So that is your brains are, there your right brain is getting activated.
Correct.
Right? There is a brain, and brain has 2 sections, right brain and left brain. In whatever we discussed previously, that your son is a traditional way of learner. So it is always, we bound to teach that only rote learning, where the left brain is always getting used. What about the right brain? Left brain is always for the logic, sentences, and whatever the academics part is there, the left brain is portion. Right brain is always into like rhythm, imagination, something is like beats, anything related to artistic. Yeah. So we have to make sure that when we synchronize both brains, then this brain science will be the utmost superpower which you can give to your student, your kids. Ask them to use the right brain. Use them to adopt the things, whatever are there. Make them observe everything. So there is some kind of mental hooks I can tell you in this room. We teach some kind of science concept with the mental hooks. So in the room, in the whole premises, what all things you can see? You can see light, you can see these cameras, you can see TV, you can see window, you can see frames, you can see anything. You can use these as a mental hook to remember the points.
Okay.
So this is how it works. Yeah. So for me, brain science technique is same, but whatever the incidence is, whatever the process, whatever you have seen it, will be reflect on it. So it's a skill, again I'm telling you. ठीक, अभी आपको भी अगर मैं बोलती हूँ कि आप 1 के लिए क्या डिनोट करेंगे, you might be saying that कि I will denote moon. Somewhere say कि Saturn. Everything is 1. So this is how there is a 99 till 99 numbers. We have something like pictorial, we gave them students को, and from that they create their own पूरा 99 का set.
Right.
So remember everything. So this is how we do, and it works a lot for them.
You spoke about traditional learning. Now, I want to take you back to 2 things. One is in your profile I read something very interesting about your work at Applied Bhagavad Gita Research Center. So before that, say coming to traditional learning with reference to Mahabharata. Now, Vruushali, typically we've heard the story where in the forest he was teaching on the 5 Pandavas, and Arjun was asked Arjun was asked, what exactly can he see? And he was able to say that I'm able to see the eye of the bird. So this somewhere has come to practice. That means there has been an everyday practice of shooting the arrow. Probably all 100 times he must have gone wrong, but at one time he must have focused and he must have got it right. So like you rightly said, you are keeping on practicing that. Now this is a traditional technique. I'm sure even that time also there could be some theory of how to hold the bow, at what angle to shoot the arrow. But I'm sure in a battlefield that theory does not really work.
Yes.
So traditional system of learning vis-a-vis today where we are, and probably after independence we've seen this, where the education system drastically changed and we adopted the English way of teaching. We are fully into memorizing concepts and reproducing them onto the paper. So what do you feel is better? Is it a blend of, is it the traditional system is better, or where can we still bring in some blend of the traditional system along with the present system and brain science to improvise on them?
See, if we talk about traditional learning system, how it goes. So typically, what was the previous picture when we think about traditional education system is like set of students sat in a row and they are just revising everything in front of teacher, and teacher was the whole head. Correct? Over the last 1 decade, you can say it has changed slightly. The audio-visual tools have come. Then activity-based learning has come. Practical application has come. And in the COVID, it accelerated on a very massive scale from offline to online. And now everything is digitalized.
Correct.
So when we are talking about this, and because of this shift from offline to online, again, there is a major stake of memorization is there and less of application based right now.
Yeah.
And with this kind of techniques, what we feel is like कि आपका क्या हो रहा है ना कि memory recollection ये essential हो गया because everything is on a paper and grades and periodic tests. So every student wants to only earn, they want to score the marks. And they are just behind it. No one wants, because they are not getting time to adapt and learn deeply. So memorization is the key thing, essentially is now the essential part of their lives. And we as a parent forget, even as a parent we forget. We do some sessions with the parents for this, and they just want that my kid should get 100 out of 100. And nowadays you are looking at कि every 10 में आपको 95% बच्चों को above 80 के marks आने.
Correct.
So everyone is just running around and behind these marks and memorization is no one is taking care of it. It comes when they start and giving their life deciding exams.
Yeah.
And that time they are not able to recollect what they have learned because that time they were used or trained to just score the marks.
Oh.
So that part is like nowadays is a major concern for that. So traditional learning, of course, it is a basic need. Anyone needs to learn how to write, how to read, how to understand. But at the same time, I can told you like, key fourth dimension has to be looked on a very immense level where the every exams are multiple choice questions. Competitive exams are like them. And the portion are vast and recollection in a fraction of minutes. Now NEET and JEE, everything is like, you will not imagine 100 chapters in NEET exams where they have to recollect within 3 years. 100 chapters and I think 280 marks or 280 questions. And those are all multiple. It includes theory, assumptions, reasoning, maths, everything, whatever they want to do it, they have to decide and they have to recollect all day. So traditional learning should be handshaken with the new brain science techniques so that the upcoming competitive exams or UPSC, MPSC, these are exams. So these are like all the recollection exams only, and these are the filtration process.
Here I'll just ask you a simple, a very layman kind of a question. In case of NEET or JEE, like you rightly said, these are all exams where students are writing those exams or appearing for them under immense pressure.
Yes.
So one is, of course, within that time frame, they have to attend the right questions. Then there's also a pressure of negative marking in that. And a pressure of remembering, like you said, within a fraction of seconds. So under all that pressure, how easy or how effective will it be for them to remember to implement these techniques? And why I'm asking this question is, how long does it takes for someone to kind of wire these techniques within themselves? Because it has to be almost on an autobot.
Yes.
So is there any such time frame of say 1 year or 2 years of practice or 3 years of practice where somebody keeps on actually practicing these techniques properly and then is able to, finally say, okay, now I'm comfortable. Along with my preparation for the exams, this also is one of the most important tools in my arsenal.
See, there are some techniques of course are there, but there are some tricks also with the techniques. For example, multiple choice questions. If we are talking about selecting one correct answer, what generally we do, what you do if you want to solve any paper, generally what people or students are doing is like, they take the question paper as a revision. They first tick mark whatever they want. Arey, ye barabar hai, mujhe lagta hai ye barabar.
Not feeling here.
Fine. And then they looking at as a revision, they are seeing and cross-checking their answers. Now what is happening with this? When they see they have ticked wrong answer, when they are usual. Instead of, there is a trick for solving this MCQs. If you are having a lot of books, so first you read the questions, read the answer, correct answer, and coordinate everything. Okay? So that will get faded in your mind. That wiring will come in there. So when something goes into your brain, your cells, brain cells activated in such a way. अगर आप ट्राई एंड एरर करते रहोगे तो आपके दिमाग में बहुत ज़्यादा कचरा भर चुका है.
Correct.
क्योंकि 4 आंसर्स है विच आर नियर अबाउट सेम. ठीक है, तो आपने वो भी दिमाग में डाल दिया है और आपने करेक्ट भी डाल दिया. अल्टीमेटली एवरीथिंग इज बेस्ट.
यहाँ पे एक और इंटरेस्टिंग, मैं आपको थोड़ा सा रोकता हूँ इस पर कि in case of employment examinations or psychometric tests, I remember this point where the questions are repeated. It would be active passive voice, but questions are repeated. The meaning is the same. But the whole reason of giving those questions is to see the consistency of how you're thinking.
Yes.
अगर आपने पहले क्वेश्चन में अगर ऑप्शन ए लिखा था, now the same question has come 10 questions later.
Yes.
तो क्या वही ऑप्शन मतलब उससे मिलता जुलता ऑप्शन सेलेक्ट कर रहे हो नहीं कर रहे?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So this is the technique and tricks which we teach them. कि आप यही करो कि आप पहले आंसर पढ़ो प्रॉपर, जो करेक्ट है वो सोचो. Once it is grasped,
Yes.
क्वेश्चंस में कितने भी आने दो, उसके मल्टीपल चॉइस में अलग अलग ऑप्शंस आने दो, यू हैव टू स्टिक टू दैट. द कॉन्टेक्स्ट इज सेम. तो इससे क्या हो रहा है, बच्चे ने क्वेश्चन पढ़ा है, ही नोज द करेक्ट एग्जैक्ट आंसर और कॉन्टेक्स्ट ऑफ दैट. ही विल नॉट लुक एट द अदर वॉट एवर इज द 99.9% उसके कॉन्टेक्स्ट से जो आंसर है उसको ही टिक करेगा. इससे नेगेटिव मार्किंग भी कम होती है एंड करेक्ट आंसर्स का ये बढ़ता है. So this is how we give them such kind of tricks for the multiple choice, and this will make them their studies stress-free.
Stress-free and easier.
Yes, and even if UPSC and PSC, these techniques we are included in some of the institutions and that, where the series. So first Prime Minister to 20th President. Sorry, so President की list एक है that we need to tell them. Who is the 5th president of India?
Yeah.
So we have such certain techniques which make them understand. See, brain science what it does. तो हमारा नॉर्मल क्या है, हमने टेक्स्ट पढ़ा, टेक्स्ट को हमने सिर्फ टेक्स्ट में ही इंटरप्रेट किया नॉर्मल कंडीशन में और वही रिकलेक्ट किया. ब्रेन साइंस व्हाट इट डज, टेक्स्ट को विजुअल में करेगा, कंसेप्ट लेना फिर उसको विजुअल्स में कन्वर्ट करेंगे. दिस इज फॉर लर्निंग. व्हेन रिवाइजिंग इट, they will recollect the images, they will recollect the concept, and then they will go to the texture. So within fraction of a minute, their revision is over. So this is how it goes. So text, concept, visualization, concept, and intents, all revising. So this is how it is.
Like, I would like to know a little bit about your experience at the Applied Bhagavad Gita Center, Research Center, and how that has actually helped you in developing this whole concept of brain sciences. Because I'm sure I also read it, whenever I get time. Yeah, though I have not been able to read it completely, but one or two excerpts I try to read it whenever I get time in this. So a lot of learning is there in the Bhagavad Gita itself. So how has it helped you in developing this brain sciences student?
Yeah, that was actually turning point for my life when I joined as a manager in the Bhagavad Gita Research Center. So we started developing content for all the stakeholders of society, like for students, parents, then new startups, leaders for old age. And when I started reading out and researching out on each of the adhyayas, 18 adhyayas are there, and 700 verses are there, shlokas are there. So what I got to know is every adhyaya has their own flavor. Even though हमने बहुत बार ये भी महसूस किया कि same thing is coming out every verse up. Almost all the repetition is there, but repetition in context of each one is different.
Okay.
See, everywhere, whatever we look in the market for the Bhagavad Gita and everything, there are more on the Bhakti Yoga, which is more likely to be for the old age people. So, what should we let go? How we should everything left behind? How we can make our mind calm and cool at this age?
Yeah.
Whereas there is a Karma Yoga, which is useful for students,
Correct.
working professional, leaders and standards. The Karma Yoga third adhyaya is like something is like how you into the society, into your responsibility, how you do your Karma Yoga.
Yeah.
Correct? Karma Yoga doesn't mean like कि आपने क्या काम किया. No. Whatever is your responsibility, make sure that you fulfill it. Whether your family responsibility, whether your office responsibility, everything.
Well,
So what happened now उस टाइम और उसमें 14th अध्याय गुणा के ऊपर. So what do you mean by Guna theory? Guna theory is something like personality, how you can enhance your personality. There are 3 threads of personality: Tamasa, Rajasa and Sattvic. Tamasa is ignorance kind of personality. Nothing to bother. They are tamasi, like we can say ना कि बहुत आलसी होते हैं. Those are tamasi.
move away into pleasures and all.
Yes, they are just like जो हो रहा है वो होने दो. Rajasa is they are passionate. They are passionate. They want to do something. And Sattvic is like they are beyond everything. They are calm, cool, settled down. And they, whatever is happening, they are taking into it and they are listening to it. They are adapting.
Correct.
And based on that, they behave. So you can, see, there is like, आप कभी भी एकदम तामसा से आप सात्विक में नहीं जाओगे.
नहीं जाओगे.
You have to get stages done. You have to be like Rajasa and then go to the Sattvic. So where I have got to know that Bhagavad Gita is not just a spiritual text. It is a personality book for us, life book for us. So, and you also just try this experience whenever you stuck anywhere. If you have any Bhagavad Gita book, just randomly open up any book. You will get your answer in a practical way. This is how Bhagavad Gita is all about. And I do the same thing. Whenever I stuck anywhere, I just open up. I have made my diary where I have wrote down everything. And whenever I feel like I am stuck in anyway, I just open up Bhagavad Gita book and just reading out there what is there. And something I will be getting it to go through with my current scenario and problems and everything. So it's all about kind of rich literature, I can say, which everyone should refer, because it's work on every aspect of our life.
True.
And right now, even I am myself shooting up 365 problems of life. Kind of podcast and videos I am making out for that. Okay, these are the normal problems which we faced in daily lives. So 365 problems, 355 ways from the Bhagavad Gita, which I am doing it right now as a project.
In fact, I have a copy of the Bhagavad Gita on my desk in my office. Very interestingly, I didn't buy it. It came to me automatically. Because where I was working earlier, we had to shift our office from one place to another. And the desk when I finally moved, randomly after I opened it, it was there. Somebody must have forgotten it. But it came into my eyes, and it is there with me since the last 10 years now. And like you rightly said, I keep on referring to that. Now coming to personality traits, when you mentioned about tamasic or rajasic or sattvic, tamasic is often looked at, in discussions or body bhasha जिसको हम लोग कहते हैं. it is always associated with something very, very negative. Now, if you look at it as, a phase where you said people are carefree, they don't really think much about it. That can be associated with childhood. When children are carefree, children don't really need to bother too much about things. Rajasic is where they become passionate. So as they grow up, they become passionate. As finally when they grow old, they become sattvic.
So by experiences and by the surroundings, these stages and their nature is getting changed over there.
Correct.
Yeah. So, but it's not always the same thing for the everyone.
Correct.
Some kids are like, they are born silent, they are born steady. So those are the, when it comes to prenatal, आजकल वो जो है सारा, that is also affects a lot. So all about is how you bring them. It's the most important. If the parents are tamasi, the child is not going to be like Rajasi.
Fit.
Yeah. So if the even reverse.
Correct.
The parents are sattvic, child is more tamasi. Why? So richest people, their kids are. We can see nowadays richest people and their kids are like, they are not having any kind of sense of humanity. Why this is so? It's not all about the big upbringing of kids is more important than it. So for that, and so parents have to look inside from their perspective. Okay, how I want to upbring my child. So what on changes I need to do it in myself.
Can there be a technique here where, like we said about memorizing things, can there be one technique, some kind of a technique which could be developed? Now I come to suppose, I have highlighted some problems in the question which I have mentioned. For example, if we talk about digital or social media, so the dopamine surge that they get by constant doom scrolling, or like you say, early in the morning they scroll WhatsApp messages or Instagram reads, or they are fighting problems like boredom, or they are fighting problems like fragmented attention, because they are looking at one thing here, the next moment they are distracted somewhere else.
Yes.
So these problems, by using brain science, can they somewhere fight these problems so that their personality, like we said, the ideal transition that should happen from Tamasi to Rajasic to Sattvic, can this actually be worked out to any kind of a solution to brain science?
Yeah, because see, if we look at the bigger picture of social media and all, so what all these things are like, they are just distractions on.
Right.
Everything is distraction, and kids are nowadays like going towards the false rewards, like how many likes I have received,
Followers,
notifications. They cannot stay away from the mobiles, which we can fragment their attention. They are not able to focus on one task for the longer time. So, see, we cannot make them away from this, of course, but we can make best use of it. So, brain science, our techniques are like that only. We use that techniques. We make sure that they will not use mobile for searching, but they will use their mobile for memory and concept clearance. So for that, they need to understand what the ridiculous thinking they are getting is the term. So ridiculous thinking, something is different, that catchy, and that can be related. And once they are wired with this techniques, they will obviously will not be having such kind of thing. But obviously, of course, these are the right now, these are the social problem going on where the students are not able to concentrate. So this is where the brain science techniques make them aware that they wired in such a way that they will get a sense of satisfaction what they are doing. Correct? So these techniques making them, why they are getting bored, because nowadays even you can make out when they are looking at the content, study content on YouTube, they are listening those content on a 1.2x, 1.1, because their attention capacity has gone. Because of that, they feel textual books are boredom. They don't want to read. So if they are getting bored, so second thing is that we will make it more interesting in front of them, so that they will get interest for the textbooks. Again, there are some other factors I can tell you. there are these school and periodic tests are there, and school academics are there, larger group teaching are there, and personalized systems are not there. Again, the students are not getting much time in school for the recess which we used to get.
Absolutely.
So that is reduced to some extent, where the mental fatigue is most of the time, where they are not able to rewire the things.
Yeah.
Because constantly they are into such kind of vicious cycle where their mind is not getting stopped, or the threshold has come up in such a way that they are not even knowing it. And nowadays parents are also like, they are busy in their jobs, and even in the home economies are like, they are more into, so whatever that they see at home in school, they are ideally going to
Reproduce
the same.
Right. Now, we have traditionally, since my childhood, we have been always told that we need to cram information into our mind. Studies, of course, studies or whatever it is, cramming information was always the focus. I came across something called encoding information.
Yes.
So, could you explain the difference between cramming and encoding with reference to brain sciences?
Yeah. So, what do you mean by cramming? For example, in a hurry, you're stuffing all the notebooks in your bag and you're going to school. This is called cram. So, last minute revision is like cramming. Last minute things, which you are going to forget in weeks. This is cramming, and this is the simple example I have given you. And encoding is like, you are connecting the dots with the existing knowledge you have. Yeah. So something is like, you are organizing your books, and whenever you want, you are taking out that book, you are reading, and you are keeping in that place, so at the right place. So encoding is like something that is where you are going to relate with your existing information in your mind. So obviously, encoding is much more useful for the brain science technique again, because we are going to use your existing incidences, existing experiences, existing your mind setup or your brain setup to produce the new concept or feed it them for the longer time. Correct? So that is something is called encoding, and that encoding is much more useful for memorization of any academics content or any topic, anything you want to remember.
Right.
So encoding is the most important.
Correct. So along with brain science techniques of visualizing or creating visual imagery as a reference point, traditionally we used to follow reading aloud mechanisms, where you would read something, a chapter, sitting in the room, I would read it aloud.
Yes.
And that would actually help me remember it. So that was the audio part. Now with brain sciences, we have come up with the video part as well, the visual part as well.
Visual, and it is imagination, I can add it to it. And imagination with association of your text. So text converted into pictures into imagination, imagination into memorization.
Great.
So this is how it links.
Right.
You can read about it was a left brain activity which we used to do. And that again, only one dominating brain part is there, left brain, we used to dominate. Now we have to make sure that our right brain also get used to it, and they should get synchronized in a better way to memorize for the longer time.
Now this right brain and left brain, since we're talking about that, when a student remembers something or when he or she memorizes something, at a neuroscientific level or as a concept of neurosciences, what exactly is happening there? If we could explain this to the people listening to or watching the podcast, they'll actually understand the concept of activating your right brain, activating your left brain.
Next time, जब हम कुछ पढ़ते हैं, कुछ देखते भी, कुछ भी, when it goes to the mind, what happens on a brain level? Our brain cells get a roadmap of the information where to store it. So it is a roadmap that our brain cells are creating. So if we use this roadmap in such a way, where that if you are not using it properly, then information is going to fade away after some time. If you want that information should fade in your mind permanently, there is something like make it interesting, make it like use some kind of graphs, you use some kind of imagination, visuals, colors, stories, movie making, anything, whatever is fascinating your brain cells. Yeah? So when information goes in, it takes away by the brain cells to the information storage place. And when you make that journey stress-free and something different, interesting, fun-loving kind of thing, it is obviously going to feel for permanently. Yeah. So this is how it goes and it stores into the memory. So we have to make sure that whenever something is coming up, the perception should be in a wide way, in a very different way. You should take it in a very positive way. So science of positivity also is one of the key concept of brain science. Science of positivity means whatever you look, whatever you take into your mind or this, take it in an immense positive. Okay, that I can do it, I am going to do it, I can make it, I am 100% sure that I will do it. Kind of perception you should have it. And that science of positivity working for the any kind of retention.
Right. I think, when pandemic happened, we experienced a wide change from, the offline to the online, like you rightly said. And again today, after, say maybe 4 or 5 years of the pandemic going by, we are again coming back to the offline part. Online is still there, but majority again has come back to the offline part. What we also experience is, when in schools, when we come across students, or colleges, when we come across students, attention span has not dipped down because of the screen time increasing, the attention span has gone down. At the same time, the students are not able to remember big concepts, but they want something in capsules. So, like we typically look at Instagram, shorts, or Instagram reels, or YouTube reels for that matter. Even if, giving an example of a podcast also, a 2-hour long podcast may not be, viewed that much. But if you cut bits and pieces of, say, 15 minutes or 10 minutes, those are viewed much better. So, how will this, techniques of brain science help in regaining what was there? Probably, it may not be 100% regained, what was there before the pandemic, but how can we reset it, or how can we actually come back to the same situation again?
See, when it come back, the trend has changed again. It has come to the normal square one. So when it is like that, so there is a slight difference between like key brain science make everything in a such a way. Key everything is concentration should be in. So concentration is what? Whatever, if you feel like interesting, you are going to focus on it. And when you focus on something, you will concentrate on something. Correct? So brain science, what we do with the use of these techniques, we make them in such an interesting way so that they will be stick to the concept and they will deep dive into that. They will regain every information in a very fun or stress-free way, and they will be stick to that focus and concentration. So again, what you said rightly, we don't teach line by line. We don't teach line by line. We teach them, we ask them to get some pointers out of the big para. Get some pointers and use and visualize those pointers, which is best possible techniques is used for that particular subject. And with the help of that technique, that pointers is getting recollected. And once the pointers are taking it recollected, entire the paragraph is, again, they are going to remember everything. So what we do, we take out the keywords. So it's all about keywords. So we make them happening that it is a human intelligence, I can tell you. Artificial intelligence, what it does? It takes keywords. Correct?
True.
So brain science is taking human intelligence. We ask students to write down or underline the keywords from the paragraph. And now get it in a series, a synchronized way, and create the personalized image systems and get converted and then remember. So everything is all about all the different techniques ruling about, right? It is like a roller coaster kind of like association, imagination, visualization, memory retention, ridiculous thinking, everything is mnemonics. Everything is science and science, but in a scientific way.
You also are into career guidance for a lot of...
Yes.
So, again, with reference to whatever discussion we've had so far, what challenges do you really see today, when it comes to students who are selecting the right career for themselves? Because like we discussed, academically they may be very good, they may not be very good, but artistically there may be something which is very good in that. So again, using these techniques or their academic performances, their performances through school or colleges, as a career choice, how easy or how difficult does it become for them?
See, as a psychometric test, whatever the career guidance tests are there, what majorly it includes is listening, the language, mental ability, then you can say space, imagination. So these are all components related to brain and how your brain reacts at that point. So if the particular, for example, if a child gets that exam or that psychometric test and his imagination or 3D or 4D aspects are good, so based on that, and again, his stress component is lesser. So somewhere in the combination, what is happening is end result is he is artistic. He can be a good architect. He can be a good digital UI UX designer. He may not be good at coding, but he is very good in visualization and he is very good in designing kind of thing. So when they come up with this thing and when the results are coming up, sometimes we experience parents are like they are more they feel like no, why he will go to designing? He should go to NEET and JEE, engineering or doctor. So why should take arts? Because we are from science side. So क्या हो रहा है ना यहाँ पे वो जो टेस्ट है ना वो रिजल्ट दिखा रहा है प्रॉपरली बट नेवर वांट्स टू लिसन ठीक है एंड क्या होता है फर्दर ईयर्स में बच्चे को ढकेल देते हैं एक्चुअली ढकेल देते हैं उनको जो करियर चाहिए उसमें एंड he has not interest, he or she has not interest in that career, that curriculum. जैसे तैसे हो जाते हैं and then they realize कि this is, and when they come up with the sole end result, the end of curriculum or degree, they feel like मुझे तो ये करना ही नहीं था, मम्मी पापा ने बोला इसके लिए दे, तो फिर क्या अच्छा लगता है फिर से हम उनका साइकोमेट्रिक टेस्ट कर दें. Then in that case we don't focus on their what actually the academic statistically. We look at what are his or her interests, what are her strong points, positive points, what are her or his strength and weaknesses, which is going to be useful in a positive. So in that sense, we make them sure कि चलो ज़्यादा तो आपका graduation हो गया, now the future path you should take this route which will make you easy to what we can say कि आपका जो लाइफ है वो अच्छा तो बने. एकेडमिक्स नहीं बना, चलो आपकी पसंदीदा चीज़ तो नहीं आई, but at least in a job perspective you should be satisfied enough. ठीक है, after all you need to have satisfied at one point. तो we make them in that phase कि चलो आपके strength and weaknesses के ऊपर काम करते and choose those career in further PGs programs and all. And we give them all the possible ways, paths, what to do, how to do. If you choose particular career, what will be your career path entire your life? What will be your highest peak of your life career where you will get satisfaction? So everything we do this. But as a career coach, counselor, as a career counselor, brain science expert, I will advise all the graduates to do this psychometric test at the age in the grades of 11th and 12th.
Okay.
And whatever the results you are getting it, stick to that. Because in future, students are going to face that this is not my choice of career which I want. So there, if you feel even in the future and so same thing is that वो type तो निकल गया. So do this psychometric test, career counseling test in the 11th class. See what one outcomes are getting out of it. Go for that, and then the life is different. What you feel like कि कैसे होना चाहिए. That will be more happier and satisfying kind of thing.
Right. अब ये जो आपने कहा है कि time निकल गया. Now I'll come to since we discussed so much about students and young kids. Now coming to the next part of my discussion was about grown-ups. People who are beyond the age of 30, 35, 40. Because even in my previous two episodes, the episode were like that. The first one was about kids. Second one was about professions. Now somebody who has, taken a wrong decision in life and selected a wrong career because of, say, peer pressure or parent pressure or whatever it is. Frustration adds to a problem of addictions. Addictions obviously are known. We obviously have been reading a lot about it. There's a lot of awareness that these definitely cause a lot of damage to your muscles, brain muscles in terms of memory. So there's a lot of effect on the memory, there's a lot of effect on grasping, focusing. So somebody at the age of, say, suppose 40, who's facing a problem of memory retention or information retention, because that's a very critical age where people are at senior roles. And to take decisions, you need to have things very, very quick or at your fingertips. So are there any specific techniques in brain science for people of those ages also?
So everywhere their memory techniques are not going to work, frankly speaking. There are certain time period where you can effectively use it, and lifelong you can use it. At the age of 40 almost, there are certain age parameters are going on where the memory is going to affect more down.
Correct.
Stress level are there, which is again going to get away from your sleeps. Again, I am telling you the same thing. Sleep cycle is...
If I'm going to come to that, because that's a very special discussion for me.
So sleep is like, nowadays the working culture hours are like that. So sleep is, the most important things that affects our lives. So what you can do is on a physical level is more than you have to be take small breaks in between of your work pressure, where you just get up, do some kind of neck exercises, hand exercises kind of thing, which will make you distracted sometimes for the fatigue kind of a continuous same kind of routine. Again, do some kind of breathing exercise, which will make you calm down. Again, then eat some kind of mental food kind of, which will make you omega-3 kind of thing, which will help you to regain your memory, like oats and pistachios and badam. These are the things, dry fruits, which we can say. Eat or drink some brain-rich food kind of thing. Get good sleep. So this all things you can do on a physical level. And again, read something instead of going on a mobile or a screen thing. Go something like on a page kind of traditional way, which will make you concentrate or which will divert you. Or you can develop your own hobbies, which you feel like mujhe karna tha. So start preparing for your habits, hobbies, I think. Why? Because at the age of 58, when you will get tired, if you don't, at age of 14, if you are not starting your hobbies at interest level growing stages, you will feel after 58 at the age of retirement, I don't have anything. अभी तो मेरा तो उम्र भी निकल गया. अब मैं क्या करूँ? अभी करके भी क्या करूँ? Kind of attitude we develop. So try to encourage your inner hobbies. Try to make your hobbies as a future career. So get some courses, get some steps towards it. So this is how you can crack down your all the stress, distractions, where you can actually shifting your mind from something more regular to interesting thing.
Right. So I think at the age of 35, 40, generally at a senior level where somebody is, people have a resistance to learn new things as they grow because of experiences, because they have achieved something in life, whatever the reason could be. So when they start, like you said, learning a new skill or learning a new hobby, compared to a younger child, maybe at the age of say 10 or 12 or maybe even younger than that, 5, compared to the age of say suppose 35, 40, is there no such technique that can be used, where I'm sure it could not be like, something in school that they can be taught now. But can there be some very easy techniques?
Some techniques like mind timers kind of techniques. These are useful for the elders or adults.
Yes.
Some techniques are there, but these are like general techniques which they can use in day-to-day life.
Right.
Mental hooks techniques are there, platform techniques are there, GPS techniques are there. So these techniques are like just for the adults, where they can recollect, remember anything they want to fit it, and they can regain their memory. Of course, it needs not dedication, but a continuous practice for them. So you practice means you have to use it often. Yeah. So for the kids, it's a sponge. Whatever you will put it, it will get soaked.
Correct.
So, of course, there is a difference of grasping. In one of the workshop, we advise that if you're stuck, you just ask your kids. They will give you, they are the little scientists over there. Why? Because they're thinking in such a way, you will not imagine you will get some good ways out for them. Because their observation, they are listening, not many things they are getting. They're taking into their minds and they're just randomly they are giving you the answers. Sometimes it clicks to you. So whatever new idea if you want to, if for example at the age of 40, if you want to learn something else new, if you ask your kid, what do you think about this? Should I do it? He will give you, your son will give you 3 more options for it.
Correct.
Okay, Papa, you don't do this. You do this. Because I know you can do this. Because they are good observers. So, just try to be like that. More explorative. More like getting all the things, whatever coming into your surroundings, take it in a positive way. Even though if you don't want to go for it now, but somewhere in future it will click. So, obviously these techniques are there, but these are the general techniques, which is useful for them also.
Correct. Now coming to the most important topic, which is sleep. We touched upon it in the beginning, briefly right now also.
Mm-hmm.
But sleep is something that, नींद उड़ जाना जिसको कहते हैं, नींद उड़ चुकी है मेरी. It could be for various reasons.
Yes.
Typically, but if we talk about professionals or if we talk about students, it could be because of academic pressure, it could be because of work pressure, because of family problems, could be because of depression, various reasons. But sleep certainly is a concern today. And to add to it, we have social media, scrolling in the night. So there are multiple, options. If you go to say maybe you swim or Instamart, you'll see a lot of substitutes are there for inducing sleep and putting you off to sleep in 1 hour and 1 hour.
Mm-hmm.
But how important do you think is sleep, not just as a part to rest, but also to reset and what you had touched briefly in the beginning of this.
See, sleep is just, as I said earlier, so it's not just like it is a rest kind of thing. You are a rest.
Oh.
Your brain's still working. Deep dive in brain cells, it's organizing everything and it is placing everything in pieces. And when you sleep it, your subconscious mind taking all the things, whatever happened, even though you are not aware about the things that is like going on in your mind. So sometimes tension headaches are there. Why it is so? Because something triggered which you don't know. Something happened in past, some days before, and suddenly it triggered, and that's why you are getting headache. And before that headaches or migraines, what was the usual chain was, there were so many days of sleepless nights you can see, because where the reset button is not getting pressed.
Yeah.
So when we are sleeping, it is actually we are resetting our brain cells. And when you are in a deep sleep, you are getting absolutely calm down yourself. Everything is shut down in surrounding. And that is the time where your subconscious mind is getting activated. And when it gets activated, whatever unorganized things are there, it is getting organized in a such a way that next day when you complete your sleep, and when sometimes we feel I'm feeling so fresh too, because I'm getting some sleep. So everything is managed. I'm sorted now. So all the things are like sorted, and everything is like good enough.
Yeah.
So this is how the reset button should be there. For that, you have to make some ground rules. Before sleep, I will not be saying any kind of screen time. I will shut down 1 hour before any screens. I will not touch it. And after sleep also, I will not touch any screens. So, ये जब आप करते हो ना, तो आपका डिस्ट्रैक्शन बहुत कम हो जाता है, आपका एंजाइटी लेवल कम हो। अगर आप लास्ट मोमेंट तक स्लीप के अगर कुछ ना कुछ देख रहे हो, तो आपके इसमें डिस्ट्रैक्शंस बहुत ज़्यादा है। यू स्टार्ट सिलेक्टिंग वट एवर इज नॉट रिलेटेड। सो सोशल मीडिया पे आप देखो ना, फेसबुक में अगर कोई कहीं पे घूमने गया एंड इफ यार मैं तो गया ही नहीं, मुझे भी जानी था। सो इंस्टेड ऑफ taking it lightly, you're taking it personally.
Correct.
And that again, like यार मैं जो जाना था फिर मैं नहीं पाया, क्या हो गया? So again you are into that negative cycle. So it's just like sleep is a reset mode of your life. Every day you have to reset it.
See, I think the problem is now that there is a contrast between medically what is prescribed about sleep, 7 to 8 hours, similar. And socially, what is spoken about sleep? What is spoken about sleep socially is where people who want to be successful need to burn the midnight oil. It's notorious. और रात में बैठ के पढ़ाई करो 12 बजे तक 1 बजे तक सुबह तक पढ़ाई करो तो वो आपको याद रहेगा. So again, looking back to learning ways, this has been taught to us, no? Somewhere in the end.
No. See, thing is that night diggers जो होते हैं, even students are nowadays, they are doing studies till early morning 3, 4 and then sleep.
Yeah.
Their results, you just look at it, if their results are not then far.
Yeah.
Why? Because going before, जब आप रात में स्टडी करते पूरा दिन एक chaos चला है उनके माइंड में,
Right.
और वो chaos में और नई चीज़ वो अकोमोडेट करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं, that is academics. Nothing is going to concentrate, though they feel like अभी शांति है, I am not going to get any distraction, सब सो रहे हैं, I will do peacefully, nothing is going to happen. Instead, you always make sure that they should complete their sleep and they should get up early in the morning.
Yes, yes.
So that reset is important. जब shut down कर रहे हो सब everything is organized, and when you get up and you study, that whatever, even you do your work, your presentation, for example, if you do it in the early morning, you will get more ideas on that. Why? Because everything is settled down. You know that. But chaos में और chaos करोगे तो आपको कुछ भी नहीं आएगा. So night diggers जो होते हैं, they are prone to all kind of headaches, migraines, stress-related things. And again, next day they will feel that I have not done anything.
Yeah.
Again, same day. So instead of going for the late nights, always make sure that your kids should sleep early and get up early.
Correct. Even in case of professionals, no? कि जो लोग कहते हैं कि ठीक है मेरे पास तो कुछ नहीं तो मैं analysis होता हूँ, and they compare with somebody who is very rich or very successful in life. ये तो 4 घंटे ही सोता है, but देखो मेरी तरफ I can sleep for 8-9 hours. So that also has created a negative image about sleep in a society environment. So this is, I think, people need to really change this.
Yes.
इसको एक सोसाइटी के तरीके से ना देख के या एक कल्चरल तरीके से ना देख के, they need to simply look at it from a medical and a body requirement kind of view. What is your view for it?
See, thing is that as a medically 6 to 8 hours sleep is important. So that sleep should be in a such a way without disturbances.
Correct.
So if you are sleeping in the night, for example, as a day timing and our nature's timing, or you are sleeping in the afternoon, see, the 6 hours reset is required. What I feel. Because nowadays working culture is like US, UK timings are there.
Correct.
These people, even they want to, they will not.
They will not be able.
They will not be able to sleep because their calls are going on till 11 p.m. the midnight. So they have to complete their sleep at least 6 to 8 hours till that time. So again, when they cut down their on calls by 11:30, it will take them to put on sleep for 12:30 till. And then they will not be able to wake up at 5:30, even though it's a natural thing and what we are doing.
Correct.
Generally, as a scientific way, there should be 6 to 8 hours compulsory sleep without disturbance for the reset your mind and wiring of your...
Could be broken universe.
No. Broken timing, how it is going to work. It's straight 6 hours to 8 hours completely. So it's all about calming down yourself, exploring it all.
Okay. Now, coming to the towards the end of the whole discussion, if you have to give one actionable advice to maybe a student who wants to improve his grades, what would be that one actionable advice you would like to give him? Not just to the student, but also to the parent of the student. Who are now focused completely on building grades. Because as we are discussing, like I said, this is the exam festival right now going on.
Yes.
Before the actual festival began, it was all about exams that is going on in various schools. So what advice would you give?
So my advice to all parents are like, start training your child's brain in early years, as we discuss in our entire podcast, from 3 years, which we call it as the mind is more, or brain is more absorbent for any kind of learning. So make the use of these brain science techniques from the pre-primary level and make them aware about all these things and take interest. Even as a parent, they should take interest on these techniques. They can use it. They can sit with the kids. They can do it. They can use it. So at the same time, we as a brain voyagers, we are here to help you out for rewiring of your child's brain, and we are here to give you how to train your brain in a scientific way, which will be like useful as a skill for lifelong. So whatever, as something is like आम का पेड़ा जब आप लगाओगे तो क्या के बहुत सारे आम खाओगे. So same kind of thing is when you think that brain size plant inside you, it will grow like anything, but it will give you fruitful result in coming years in a free, fun way, stress-free way. And again, the success you are going to get for sure.
Okay.
And this is
one more point which we would like to cover is how important, one, we spoke about training the students, one we spoke about training the parents, but most importantly is school. The 6 hours or 5 hours, 7 hours, whatever the timing of the school would be, kids are generally with the teachers. So how important is it to train the teachers also into, either to use it for themselves and to pass it on to the students?
So what we do in that case, we install the brain science labs into the school.
Yeah.
We train the teachers accordingly. And teachers are using these techniques once in a week for 40 minutes. Yeah. So they take one, for example, if they train for a history techniques, history civics techniques, they will create their own content as per their brains and their capability, and they will teach. And they will get results from the students, because students are also going to learn same techniques and they will use it in their. So they will go to home, they will teach, tell their parents, ki, this is how I learn the dates in memory day, for example. So 40 minutes of weekly once class is more than enough for them to train the students when they are kids. So as a brain voyagers, we install the brain science lab. We teach all the techniques to the teacher and we review it. We personally look after when they teach them and we give them feedback as experts, so how you can deliver it in a better way.
Okay.
So this is how we do with the teachers, and teacher has to use it and they are using it, and teachers are more happy because they don't have to because now the students' attention span has increased because it is a more interesting part they are getting every day. So teacher is making them fun way, and students have also like feeling like something we are teaching differently, getting it differently. So whole teaching learning process has been changed from textbook to pictorial and visuals and imaginations.
Great. I think it was very informative. Like I said at the beginning, this was a very new concept even for me to discuss on. So I'm sure our viewers have taken a lot of information from this. Key takeaways which I personally felt was starting early.
Yes.
Start at the age of say 3 or 4, maybe even at the age of 5, latest. But don't go too late beyond that. Starting early is one part. Practicing regularly is one of the key takeaways that I've taken on this. And third most important part is focusing on yourself. Getting proper sleep, getting proper exercise, focusing on your own body. This will not just help somebody at the age of say in childhood, but this will also help after 40 or as we progress towards the old age. Everybody has to ultimately progress towards the old age. So as people progress towards that age also, they will be able to live a better and a healthy and a fun film life. Fun, of course, is a concept which can be different from people to people. But a very healthy and a nice life people can live with this. Please comment करके बताना आपको ये एपिसोड कैसा लगा. इसको लाइक करिएगा, शेयर करिएगा, सब्सक्राइब करिएगा to our channel. Comment and let us know what more topics you would like to listen to. मैं उस हिसाब से आपके लिए जो है मैं guest यहाँ पे लेके आऊँगा. And comment इसलिए भी करिएगा because that helps me in building up more confidence for myself and my entire team who work hard on creating these episodes for you. तो चैनल की सब्सक्राइब करिएगा, फ्री है बिल्कुल, कोई उसमें वो नहीं है. And do share this episode, like, and thank you so much for watching. Thank you.
Thank you.